Yeah, I'm at Apple headquarters. Can you believe it? Yeah,
I
my
already
meeting is with
fired
Steve
you!
Jobs this morning. Yeah, that's Steve Jobs.
Why are you
Yeah.
still here?
Oh man, sounds like somebody's getting tore up in there.
It doesn't have
All right.
thought.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
it
Yep. I
can't
gotta go. All right. Bye.
happen again. So fix it!
Well, good morning, Mr. Jobs. I'm Frank Misak, systems engineer with Cisco Systems.
My name is Steve Jobs.
It's very nice to be here this morning. I'm very humbled to get a few minutes of your time. I think from your admin assistant said we had about 10 minutes to talk this morning. So I wanted to go maybe 5 minutes to kind of talk through some of the bullet points that I got from the meeting last week with your executive team, including Mr. Wozniak. And then maybe 5 minutes to do a demo and just kind of walk through the Cisco Meraki solution that I'm going to pair up with your business objectives and your technical challenges. So some of the things that were talked about, and some of the things that I understand about Apple is that you guys, Apple obviously has premium products, and you're trendsetters. You're always looking to bring new and exciting innovations into the world.
We've raised the bar. And if we want to stay there, we got to risk everything.
And I totally agree with that. And that's something that Cisco Meraki prides itself on as well, with being innovators, bringing new things to the table. I understand that you guys have this pretty massive project to expand your nationwide chain of Apple stores globally. And there's, some of the business objectives that were mentioned in the meeting last week for, streamlining this deployment, making it so that this can be kind of replicated fairly easily to the different stores. But some of the business objectives were making sure that you had pervasive, high quality, highly available wireless networks for not only the Apple devices in the store, but also guests' devices as they come in and browse and do their business in the store. One of the points, another business objective, was making sure that your intellectual property is secured, and that's paramount with most companies these days with all the breaches that have gone on. And this is something that Cisco Meraki takes very seriously, and we have a lot of great solutions to combat some of those things. And one of the big things was this came up several times with that this solution has to reflect Apple's overall vision.
If you don't share our enthusiasm and care for the vision of this company.
No. We certainly do. Cisco Meraki is definitely a company that takes that to heart. And we have a vision ourselves, and I think that you'll see through the this discussion that we'll have now and then the demo, you'll see how those will really pair up and work well together. So some of the technical challenges that were brought up by the exec team last week was that Apple has a fairly lean staff, which is not uncommon these days with technology companies. You have very skilled people that know how to fix iPhones and iPads and Mac Pros and all that kind of stuff, but they're not really network savvy. So sending gear to a store and having one of those guys set it up sometimes is a challenge. So you'll end up flying somebody there, taking time and resources away from other duties to do so. And with our Meraki solution, this is something that can be deployed very easily. It can be replicated very easily. And in fact, I'll show you in the demo how this can be set up basically in pre-provision before it ever reaches a site. And frankly, all they have to do is plug it in. Something else that was very important was a great customer experience. You want to increase security, but give a great customer experience. So how is that? That's obviously a challenge. And then again, we'll walk through that on the demo. Another point that was brought up was to decrease your admin overhead. So whatever the solution that is implemented, it can't be a time suck for the admins that are already very busy. So one of the cool things about Meraki is that the dashboard basically houses your security appliances, your policies, your switching, and your wireless all in one dashboard. So it's not different touch points for different management and all that kind of stuff, which makes things very cool. And one of the last points that I gleaned from the meeting last week was increasing visibility while not negatively impacting customer experience. So what I meant by that was, Mr. Wozniak, in fact, brought it up about analytics, kind of seeing when someone comes into the store, whether they're on their device or an Apple store device, what sites are they going to? What's the flow of a customer once they come into the store? Is our layout of a store, is that the best for a customer experience? So if that's one of the things again that Meraki can help with is with Bluetooth beaconing and Wi-Fi is actually showing flow, how long people are standing at a certain place in the store and that kind of thing. So if you're open to it and you feel like I've kind of met or gotten the correct information from the meeting last week, I'd like to do a 5-minute demo and just kind of go through the product and see what you think.
Good. Good. This is gonna be fun.
Okay. So onto the demo portion. We've got about 5 minutes here based on your time. So this, when you log into the Meraki dashboard, this is kind of the overview screen. I've chosen basically our San Francisco Meraki network just as kind of a demo platform here, so we can look into this a little bit more. So I'm going to go ahead and go into the San Francisco site network. And the main tab that we're going to be concentrating here on the beginning is the client tab. And what's cool about this is you can see who is connected in the network at any given point in time. You can also search on them. And I'm just going to search on Apple to show Apple devices. And let's just pick on this Jose Valdez iMac here. When we bring up his page, you'll get all kinds of information about this client. Operating system, how long they've been connected, their signal strength since this is a wireless user. But one of the cool things, in kind of looking at some analytics here, is the applications that this user is hitting. So in the past, for the last day, it looks like he's hit Google Drive, iTunes, Apple.com, and a bunch of other sites that are grayed out because this is a demo network. So for privacy purposes, we're not seeing those. But one of the neat things that you can also do right from here is if you wanted to apply policy on this user, whether this is a guest user or an Apple employee, maybe they're sucking down a bunch more bandwidth going to iTunes or maybe either Google Drive or something like that. So I can actually apply policy on this user right from this page by going to the policy tab and then click, I can block them. I can actually apply a group policy that's already been created or create a new group policy. So for instance, they're a bandwidth abuser, I drop them right into that particular group, save it, and now that's deployed. Now obviously in a store, you're probably gonna have a global policy that takes care of this kind of stuff, but it is nice that you can do it right from a user perspective right here. So let's go back to the main tab. Some of the things specific to Apple with the store rollout is security. So we've got a security appliance tab with the security policies, the firewall rules, that kind of thing. Obviously there's a switch tab, wireless, and systems manager is the mobile device manager that's built into Meraki, which is very cool. But I wanted to show you real briefly, let's go into the Meraki dashboard here on the inventory tab. And so this is inventory of devices that are part of your network. There's some sorting features that are built in. In fact, if you click on unused, you can actually see, well, actually I already was. Let's look at both. These are devices that have been claimed into a network. So when you buy a Meraki product, that serial number gets dumped into this dashboard, and then you can very easily choose it. So let's go to unused. We can choose a slew of devices or so on and so forth, and then apply them to a particular network. So it's very easy to deploy these things, and they can be pre-configured, pre-provisioned before they're ever even shipped to the remote site. So they never need to come to Apple headquarters to be configured. They can be drop shipped right to the remote site. And the cool thing is it can be replicated very easy with a photo. This is connected to this port, and this can be done over and over, even if the particular firewall or security appliance or access point is a different model. Another neat thing I wanted to show you is under organization and license info. So this is a license count showing all the licenses for the different appliances that are in a part of your Meraki network. The license expiration is 3,157 days from now. So this is kind of a cumulative total, but it's very cool. At a glance, you can look and see all the different pieces of hardware and then their current device count of how many of those are. So this is a very cool feature that you can see as well. Let's look at, very quickly, let's go here to organization and location analytics. So this is something that came out of the meeting with the exec team that was important. Be able to see people coming in. So in this particular page, we very quickly can see how many people have passed by our network, that our network has seen, how many visitors, how many people actually connected. And of course, you can change this to for the last week, for the last month, so on and so forth. You can also export your analytical details to third-party analytics tools. So if you want something that's a little more granular or so on and so forth. But you can see very quickly at a glance, some of the things that we can gain out of this. Let's also quickly look at the security appliance. The security center under organization. And we have something called AMP for networks. And this is in beta right now, but will be released very soon. But this is basically anti-malware protection at the network endpoint. And this is very cool and very important for your intellectual property security, and just overall security of your network. So I know this was a fast and furious demo of the Meraki, and this certainly isn't a complete representative of all the things that we can do, but I wanted to show you how sleek, simple, and powerful this tool is. And hopefully with any luck, you see a good match for Apple. And let's get you a couple full stacks so you can roll out a couple of stores. Thank you very much for your time today, Mr. Jobs. I really appreciate it.